the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack wood when I'm traveling. The shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Seeking a place with young free, and I got what it takes to round the mic right up on the shoe. Watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out.
What do you mean by insecurity?
When I say insecurity, you have, what's the word? You know I got third grade education.
Well, let me ask you a question.
When you have a fear, when you have a fear of something.
Okay, now if so, you're saying a man is secure if he allows other men around his woman. He's secure.
He's secure within himself.
What makes him secure that he allows men around his woman that he know
that nigga a fool. If she choose to go that way with that man, then she's never been for me. That's up to her, and I move in the way that I need to move.
What makes him secure though? Because he knows that he can't control her, and so if she cheats, it is what it is. That makes him secure.
Period.
So
damn, for real.
You know I love you've been rocking with me when they had 10 people watching this motherfucker.
Go ahead, ask your question. What's your question?
Well, just in terms of even an old friend, just considering what was being said, I think Illa has a point. I think you guys have a point in terms of he been a friend for a long time. In my head, I'm like, the fuck that mean to me? Right. Like that's just how my head, like when I be thinking this shit, I'm a husband now, right? Or I don't, what you did generally, I don't, it is what it is, right? But what can he do for her? Can she go to him for the support? Can she go to him for money?
None of that shit.
I'm gonna let you finish answering.
Can she go to him for money?
No, she can't. That's my job.
Can she go to him for spiritual guidance?
No,
that's your job. Shit.
Exactly.
Can she go to him for protection?
No,
like man, they go fighting things of that nature. The strong boys would be taken and separated from their family, stuff like that.
Yeah, and they were they're used to it. Yes, that's happened.
So when we're criticizing black men, if you think it takes a couple generations to change, right? And we just went through some of the things you acknowledged happened to black men and were targeted specifically. just 2 generations ago with your your generation. And then we come at black men like we did it all to ourselves. You don't think there's an apology of some sort in order?
Can I just ask this, Mr. Fantastic, what was the reason that she would mention your pension? Because she's not going to just do that out of nowhere. What happened to make her say, oh, I want your pension? Or was she looking to divorce you for something? I'm just saying, something that you may have done. She wanted to divorce you, and so she mentioned it, and then you beat her to it.
I've explained this at least. This is the last time I'm going to tell y'all this. We were living in 2 separate things called geobashing, right? She was the one accusing me of doing shit that I wasn't doing. I told her, if you go to this and you keep accusing me when I'm not doing anything. I was in her hometown with her people around all her folks for free.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear about something. Shit. I did not ask him for his pension because that had children outside of our marriage.
You left him for free.
Y'all always get on here.
Listening.
So shut the up.
You not
Don't
listening.
always get on here.
You not
try
listening.
to dismiss women. Stop
you
trying to
not
be
listening.
in abusive relationships, whether it is
you are not listening.
Or not.
Bro, if you had 2 people sitting there, right? They had a one night stand. He put the rubber on, and you got to tell one of them they was wilding, and one of them they was wilding. You would say the woman was wilding.
Mm-hmm.
She should have made that nigga put a condom on.
Yeah, especially because niggas' dicks be dirty.
What level of responsibility? Well, not what the stats say. What level of responsibility would it be on? So he didn't put a condom on. She got pregnant. It's a one night stand. Who would you put the onus on for that happening more?
If I had to choose the woman because she gives the access.
Damn. So she should have made sure he put a condom on his dick.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Like that. Wow.
Look like Mr. Fantastic is right.
Brother.
Okay. Damn. So putting a baby
That need to be a mom is huge for women. So depending on who the woman is, a woman with a kid is less desperate to have a baby with any goddamn body.
Okay. All right. But you're saying she's 28. The clock starts getting louder and louder.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the danger comes in.
She have a baby by a homeless person. She don't give a shit. she ready to pull up on her bridge with no panties on.
That guy from he just came home, right? He just got out of jail. What's his name? Meeks. Jeremy Meeks. I think he was a prisoner.
Yes.
He got with a
good hair. Yeah.
He got green eyes and all that.
They wanted to get pregnant by that dude. Ain't got no job, no nothing. That's a perfect example. Yep.
Damn, man.
The dude with the green eyes, she wants her baby with. So that's what I'm saying. She find a whatever type of dude that would make a pretty baby. She online saying, I'm on birth control. You ain't got to wear no condom. Nigga ain't got no job, no nothing, but he got green eyes. She ready to bust it open.
Looks like we're telling the truth.
Problem. Y'all come on these panels and you want to crucify black women. Your intention, as we talk about a lot of times, y'all talk about intention and you want us to follow you. We can't follow you if your intentions are not.
I don't
good.
want you to follow me. You would get tired.
Here we go again.
You couldn't walk that far.
You're trying to make it about me.
You couldn't follow me because you get tired.
On this panel, and you came on here to spew your hate for black women, and you are justifying it.
And it bothered you.
You're justifying it by coming on here and making it seem as if you are teaching us something.
I didn't say I was teaching a thing, ma'am.
You can't.
Did I tell you I was teaching you?
Any person that you don't like.
Did I was telling you I was teaching you? Did I say I was teaching anything?
Work that way.
Ma'am, did I say I was teaching anything?
No, but you got on this panel with the intention of telling us why men don't approach.
What I would recommend is you you get a job, right? You work it, maybe in an industry that you could thrive in. Learn it, right? Without the risk, build a foundation. That way when you jump into it, you're ready, Are we having a conversation? Are you here? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Are you responding to me, you think, or?
Who else am I responding to? Mm-hmm. I'm telling you what I hear. You asked me what I hear as far as that question.
I know, but as I'm breaking it down for you, is it?
Move on.
You're right.
Let it go.
You are a hard way to give a risk to like you and yours is that truly chivalry? Is it just you protecting your investment or your asset, which is your life? And I want to go back to maybe that isn't as chivalrous because you're protecting your investment, which is your wife. If somebody smacks her
investment,
but the woman on the bus, the old lady on the bus is standing up with a cane, and you gonna sit there and sit your happy hips, your wide hips down that bus, and watch her stand up on that with that cane the whole entire time. That's not chivalrous.
Are you saying that me protecting my wife is less chivalrous than me giving my seat up for some old hag?
Are you
No.
Are you really chivalrous if you are only protecting your investment?
It's mine, right?
Right, you're protecting what's yours, but are you truly chivalrous if you don't give up the seat on the bus?
A woman that does things for me is enough. I don't need extra girlfriend.
Maddie, you made the point. You made the point.
Yeah, let me make a quick point, right? I think this conversation can trigger women, but to be fair, right, to where Beans was going, because it's not a checkmate, but I understand your point, is that women don't actually believe that they're bringing value to guys like that, because otherwise they would be encouraging men outside their man to have more female friends, and they don't. They actually discourage. Hey, you don't need no female friends. But wait, women are so valuable and important. What you mean I don't need no female friends? It actually shows you what women think.
Even women think about that shit.
There's a lot of nuance there that you could examine.
That's a great point. That's clear. I agree.
That's from the biological standpoint.
Indeed.
Now they try to change that culturally into women don't have a definition. There's nothing that actually defines it. What ended up happening was this, though. The advent of feminism actually took away what femininity was by saying it was antiquated, it was old school, it was slavery, it was oppressive. But then they turned women into fake men. So everything that a woman do valuable is what men do. She go out work, she go out and make money, she go out and get a degree, she go out and get education, she go out and buy things, she go out and she can afford things. These are all the things that men have been using to measure themselves and whether or not they've been successful or valuable or things of that nature. Women had a different set of things.
Been only pursuing so much for the attention of women. This is all, it sounds so new to me when I'm hearing it, but maybe I didn't have this perspective before. Calvin, was good? B-Love, what's up? But it's just like why we do things. Where does our moral code actually come from? How far are we willing to go to stand on it? Does your moral code have contingencies? You know, I have the clips queued up, but I'm just thinking through it. You know, the double standards. How long can we? I thought they just were a thing, but I guess they have like there's a reason for it.
When I'm traveling, when I'm traveling, when I'm traveling, six pack one when I'm traveling, 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 six pack one when I'm traveling. Seeking a place where young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Seeking a place where young free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say, I'm shit mouth good, 50 shots still, you turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, when I'm traveling, when I'm traveling, six pack one when I'm traveling, 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 get that when I'm traveling. Six pack run when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack run when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack run when I'm traveling. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. Get that when I'm traveling. Six pack run when I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling, get that when I'm traveling. Six pack run when I'm traveling. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Sure, seeking a place where y'all free, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. When I'm traveling. When I'm traveling.
Of Johnny Football. It all started at Tivy High School, where Johnny Manziel started as a wide receiver, making varsity in his freshman year. But soon his undeniable talent at the quarterback position started to shine through. He wasn't just a player, Johnny Football was a phenomenon. A Texas-born prodigy, becoming the first freshman to win the Heisman Trophy, even getting a song from Drake.
Draft day, Johnny Manziel.
But as quickly as he rose, Johnny Manziel's world began to unravel, as his own motto was, win or lose, we booze, became a reflection of his life off of the field. The world started to watch as Johnny Football struggled with his life and career. Despite this, Johnny Manziel was able to convince the Cleveland Browns to draft him, sending a text message to the organization begging them to draft him so he could save the organization. And while he was once looked at as the Cleveland Browns savior, he is no longer in the NFL. As we await for the release of his Netflix special that dives deeper into this, no one will ever forget about the rise and fall of Johnny Football. It all started at Tivy High School, where Johnny Manziel started as a wide.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So look at this, right? Johnny Manziel, first round, 22nd pick overall. He texts the organization to say he could save him, but I guess apparently he ain't cocky, right? He just confident. He just firing, right? Drinking, smoking, partying. Remember, he had that Johnny Football. He put a trademark on it and all that, right? You know, but I see you coon ass niggas keep talking about the coaches didn't like Shedeur and all this other shit. Do you know how many times players don't go to every single meeting that they're asked about? Right? Let me show you this. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. It's weird, man. It's weird and it's rearing its head overwhelmingly, man, with a whole bunch of different shit. I keep seeing y'all niggas say the same weird shit every time. And it's always the same people who can't be objective. When they see a black man, right, they literally looking for the worst thing. If a man is wrong, he wrong, right? Point blank. That's just the bottom line. But if he not, then say that. But I see the same man, same people every time, making sure they find a hole in what the black man is doing in every single situation. Right? When we looked at the case with Carmelo, we looked at the facts. We looked at the evidence. We looked at clips. We looked at the police report. And we made an objective observation. But we keep hearing black men assuming the worst. What off the field issues did the boy have? What off the field issues did this boy have? Johnny Manziel, 3 inches shorter than Shedeur Sanders, right? All types of off the field drug issues, privileged household, the whole 9 yards. It's weird to me. Let me show y'all this.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Fucking done! I'm done! Are you kidding me? I'm done! I didn't put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Oh my God! I didn't say anything. Put your hands behind your back. It's behind my 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 back. I didn't say anything. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I didn't say anything.
No, you're just a dumbass who tried to run. That was stupid. All right, man. I'm going to roll you up on your butt, okay? Sit up. All right, go ahead and put.
That's Baker Mayfield, drunk, trying to run from the police, right? Outside on his campus. Baker Mayfield was drafted first overall by the Cleveland Browns in 2018. What are y'all even talking about? What are y'all even talking about? See, I don't think, people say racism this, racism that, but there's components to it and facets to it that I don't think y'all understand or y'all choose not to, right? There's placism also involved. You remember when they told LeBron James, shut up and dribble, right? The fact that this man has confidence, his father is arguably the best football player to ever live. and they ain't taking no shorts. They ain't taking no pics, right? So now it's stay in your place, nigga. Right? That's what we witnessing. But I've never seen nothing this egregious ever, and I hope that y'all change y'all tune. I hope that y'all change y'all tune once y'all saw he went the 5th round, because it's ridiculous. It makes no sense. That's the only things you can surmise is that, nigga, how dare you, and stay in your place. But y'all coming up with some weird shit. Talking about his attitude. What did he get on the Wonderlic test? Do y'all even know what the Wonderlic test is? Do y'all even know what the Wonderlic test is? Let me show y'all. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. So the Wonderlic test is a cognitive ability test often used by NFL teams to assess players' intelligence and problem-solving skills. It consists of 50 multiple-choice questions to be answered within 12 minutes. And while it can be used as a screening tool, it is not without critics who argue it may not accurately reflect the player's overall intelligence or ability. Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback of Colorado Buffaloes, who reportedly been declining to take the test during the NFL draft process, but he ended up taking it and got an above-average grade, which was a 23. He took it and he got a 23, right? Which is above average. Joe, you want the link? Fuck you talking about? Do you want the link? 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 It's weird, man. It's weird. Weird. You hear exactly what I'm saying. You hear exactly what I'm saying. Don't come in here and being obtuse. Weird ass niggas. It's weird, man. I see so many black men specifically trying to find a flaw, trying to find a hole, right? You see that the boy went 5th round, right? This is obviously the thing. This is obviously more than what him having a bad attitude. I just show you 2 players who didn't have as much talent, right? They don't even have the size. Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel are undersized. They play great college football. You know who else won the Heisman? Charlie Ward, but he would have went 2nd round as a quarterback. There's a lot of people who do great in college, but their skills don't transfer. You've seen everything that Shedeur Sanders can do, right? You've seen every single thing that Shedeur Sanders can do. He can make every throw. He can throw on the run. He can navigate the pocket. He always keeps his eyes downfield. He's not scared to take a hit. He always get up himself. He has every investment in him, right? He trained with Tom Brady specifically. They try to say he's a average athlete. What are y'all talking about? It's like they never watched the games. And here's the thing that is disheartening, right? Not even disheartening. I appreciated it. But did y'all see what Mel Kiper said? Did y'all see what Mel Kiper said? I got my fringes on, James. I always got my fringes on. Mel Kiper, hold on. Let me see if I can find what Mel, because Mel was, and he was talking more football oriented, but he's like, this made no sense. Hold on. Look at Mel Kiper. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend.
I'm the cranking little younger that Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, I like to say, I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. 5th player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the 4th round at quarterback. that's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness. Arm strength is certainly more than good enough. I don't see, outside of not being have the rocket arm and the 4.6 speed and a big frame, the 6'3", 230-pound frame, what is he lacking? Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. 4th round, Kirk Cousins went. 4th round, Dak Prescott went. Worked out pretty good for them. It's just that Shedeur was projected a lot higher than they were. That's why we're having this discussion. For Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders,
exactly
I like to say
the other clip I'm looking for with Mel Kiper. Might be this one. Hold on.
At one point, maybe really early. At another point early in the 2nd round. And then here it comes in the 5th round finally. Shedeur Sanders, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, set a Colorado record with 30.
Guys like Marion Hampton and Ashton Jett, he had more rushing yards than they.
And in this draft process, he can.
Pat Shermer out there in Boulder, his offense, right? So we're talking about, are you confident, cocky, or round? And now, but here we are in the 5th round. Cleveland Browns really did when he had an opportunity. You saw this strike there to Will Shepard. Again, there were games like Oregon where he had no shot. Here he avoided the initial pass rusher. He rolled right, he made a throw. This fact he's like, just out there just talking, he's not athletic, it's a bunch of BS. It's not true. This kid can avoid, he can move, and he can make throws against his body like this. Key play against Baylor in that football game, Lou. I don't get it. I know you don't, but here we are in the 5th round. Cleveland Browns get a guy who should have been, in my opinion, a 1st-round pick, a high 1st-round pick. And you look at the sliders, right? The guys that have slid. The NFL gets it. They know everything. No, they don't, because the guys that have slid have done really well. Geno got into the 2nd round. He's doing pretty well, right? Jimmy Clausen, Brady Quinn didn't. But then Sir Aaron Rodgers, Chad Pennington went 18. Brett Favre, 2nd round. Boomer Esiason, 2nd round. Dan Marino, late 1st round, and now you have a situation with Shedeur dropping to the 5th round. Tom Brady, everybody said, okay, this is a 6th round pick. When Tom Brady was drafted, there was a quarterback that went 18th. That was Chad Pennington. The quarterback went in the 3rd round. That was Giovanni Carmazzi from deal with once you get to the pro level. Then you think about the character. I think this is the misperception. I think the fact of the matter is Deion was a great teammate. Deion practiced hard. They loved him in the NFL. They loved him with the Atlanta Braves in Major League Baseball. Shedeur, he will galvanize. He'll be that kind of guy. So again, the offensive line, if you're talking about the Cleveland Browns, that's the issue, guys. If they can protect them, obviously get the weapons, but up front is where they got to be strong. Allow him to do his job. He will be a surgeon. He will pick you apart. I mean, you give short time. He sees the field. He's accurate to all levels, and he is a tremendous competitor, incredibly tough. So again, durable, having all the hits he took and never got hurt. Okay, and he didn't have a running game. Not mention offensive line. He had no running game. So he was out there, and he led them to a winning year. He led them to an upset over TCU when he first got there, first game. Then the wheels came off. That Stanford game when the second half lead was won with the half. Shedeur Sanders, to me, when you talk about the locker room, the players around him, they love him. Now, the perception from others outside, based on what there's the noise, maybe they didn't like what they heard. I don't know how it was handled. You get all the word about this, that. You think, well, they're just trying to hurt Shedeur. Teams are still throwing it out there. You don't know what was true, what wasn't. How Deion's going to operate. Deion's going to stay out of it. He's going to be calling or threatening any coaches or saying, or there'll be a threat that Deion could take over. Deion's not happy. Deion's not going to say anything. Deion's going to coach Colorado. So a lot of this stuff, I think, just made no sense to me, kind of the negativity you heard over the last couple months.
The perception, though, that you talk.
No, it make no sense, man. it don't even make no sense. But who's the quarterbacks coming out next year? D-Lock in the building with the 10 ounces. No, NFL owes nobody nothing. He was super cocky and he got humble. Look at this stupid nigga right here. Right? D-Lock, you want the link? You want the link? Super cocky about what? When? Because he showed his watch? Because he had a celebration? Johnny literally trademarked Johnny football. Right? And they champion the fact that he fiery, he partying, he was able to beat Texas at Texas A&M. Run-ins with the police and everything. So you're saying he's cocky, when you substitute the word confident, right? Mel Kiper said charismatic, right? But you niggas, how many interviews were you in? How many times have you heard the boy talk, right? What about the boys on his team when they said he can galvanize the locker room and all that? This the weird shit that we talking about. You coon ass niggas want to come out and say the most negative shit for no reason, and you don't even have any proof. You just literally trying to go off of what you heard. We looking at his play. We looking at when we've heard him talk. We looked at his teammates talking about it. I had a cousin that played on this team. He ain't have nothing bad to say about Shedeur Sanders. It's Shiloh the one that had the fucked up attitude, and he said that Shedeur would keep him in check. A team will pick a murderer up if he's good enough. He's nothing special, and it was made harshly clear. Now go prove yourself. What are you talking about? You can't say that and in the same breath see, right, with the same two eyes, see 5 quarterbacks get taken before him that had no business getting taken. And you have to reconcile that with all the cocky quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers still going in the first round. When you try to surmise it the way you surmise it, and then you have to reconcile it with the actual evidence out there, you can't do it. You can't justify what you're saying. We have several examples. There's many different facets to racism. How dare you be entitled, young black boy? How dare you think your shit don't stink? How dare you think your father can have influence? Like Archie Manning, they do it 15 years ago. And they acquiesced. So when you have a trail of consistent them looking past shit, looking over shit, they set a precedent. So what we saw in this was unprecedented. Y'all niggas is weird. Aaron with the $5 says, the real point is, can black fathers support their children without media criticizing them? LeVar, Serena Dad, Braun, Dion, I see a pattern. Manga in the building with $2 says, he got goated talent though. Who number 1 picked? Who? Which one? What do you mean? Manziel didn't go number 1. Manga King with the $2 says, more talent can get away with thing, not him. Manziel's not better than him. As a prospect for a quarterback, Shedeur Sanders is better than Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was a great college quarterback, just like Tim Tebow. But in a vacuum, if you line those 3 up, those 2 can't hold a candle to the things that Shedeur can do. When you have a Manziel, when you have a Tim Tebow, it's one side of the field, right? Y'all don't play football, y'all don't understand. Him reading the entire field is what you see people develop when they get to the NFL. When you come from an office like Texas Tech, right? With Baker Mayfield, right? It's just winging it. It's pass heavy, you know? But you only got a couple reads and they running the same routes on each side. These are pro style offenses that the boy was running since Jackson State. Right? The more talent thing is foolish when you're talking about quarterback traits. D-Lock with a 10 says, stop making everything about race. Sanders chose not to talk to a number of teams. They chose not to pick him. When I own my own team or business, I choose what's best for my business, not you. What are you talking about? You just said, right? Contrary to what you're saying now, right? They'll pick a murderer. How many interviews did Joe Mixon take when he got drafted in the second round after punching that white girl in the face that punched him first? What are you talking about? Like the Greg Hardys of the world? The truth is they overlook, right? Or they look past character traits all the time, which is your point here, right? But now all of a sudden we citing things that we can actually almost confirm based on what they've done in the past. But now race can't be involved. You just made a point earlier. They literally don't care if you're best suited, and you can't say that the quarterbacks taken before him were better suited other than Cam Ward just based on physical traits. But he don't have no issues. Where has this reared his head before? Several people don't take all the interviews. That's not nothing new. TJ was popping in the $5. The NFL owners are a damn disgrace. TJ with the $5 says, let's not forget the crap Eli and his dad pulled, but they keep forgetting it though. It's weird. Reaper with the $10 says, Mayfield used to grab his nuts during games to taunt the opposing teams. Johnny Manziel was a drug degenerate as well. Ryan Leaf said he would party in Vegas after the draft. Draft stocks untouched. Thomas, what up with the $2? Stepping Fetcher's jokers. This is deplorable. That's my main thing. That's my main thing. I'm looking at the niggas who running around here like they feel vindicated. They feel justified that they shooting at this young boy. And I can't believe these niggas can't see the forest through the trees. Shut up and dribble. Stay in your place. How dare you challenge us? But like that shit is weird to me. I'm talking to y'all specifically and directly. This is exposing y'all. It ain't exposing him. He got drafted in the 5th round. He probably gonna end up being a starter. Right? To be honest. Right? I think that he's the best quarterback they have. I think Flacco will probably start it out. Watson is done. He just tore his Achilles, right? They're probably going to try to offload that. They already restructured his contract. They saved about $35 million. I think Dylan from Oregon has a lot of experience, you know, but he's even smaller. He probably the same level of athlete, right, as Shedeur. But Dylan moves good. But Shedeur has a stature. He has more arm strength. So I think he's the best candidate there. But also, we're not even looking at his money, right? We're not even looking at his money. From 1st round to the 5th round, do you know the money disparity? You know how much money they cost him? We understand it, right? They want, when you see Dion, right? There's a jealousy, there's an envy, right? They don't like him. So now he paying for the sins of his father to an extent, right? But more so, I'm talking to y'all niggas. I'm talking to y'all coon ass niggas who find solace in this shit. When you have very recent examples of unbecoming behavior that got looked past, and you can't find unbecoming behavior in him, right? As opposed to them saying he's cocky. What I'm talking about. It ain't even about the NFL. It's about y'all. That's who I'm talking to. It's about y'all weird ass niggas who celebrating the fact that a black man got shit on. You drop this link. I don't got a lot of time. And this is why they say crabs in a barrel. Rainbow, what up? Stupid niggas say, oh, I do what's best for my business. No, you don't. Not drafting a quarterback from Oregon, you don't. And then in the next breath, they'll hire a murderer if he's good for the team. What are you talking about? Niggas try to be so smart. They outsmart themselves. D-Lock spent $20 to contradict himself. I'm trying to figure out what do y'all get from this shit? We looked at the case, right? We looked at the case with Carmelo Anthony. The synopsis was this, boom. Yo, based on the statutes, based on the evidence that we currently have, he probably cooked. And we argued about, you know, what should have happened, this, that, and the third, right? But we looked at it based on what was presented to us, right? Even if we want the black man to not be guilty, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. If Shedeur had real issues, right, then we could justify it. But there's nothing out there. And we got black men running around talking about he's too arrogant. So let's make sure he drops to the 5th round. So he lose $10 million. But he's better than every quarterback with the exception of Cam Ward. And it's really not close when you look at their games and look at their play. One quarterback had 3 injuries, season-ending injuries. Played in college for 6 years. Is 3 years older than Shedeur Sanders. And he goes, and y'all saying y'all can't see nothing wrong with that. Gabriel, how many years did he play? And he goes. Jackson Dart, are y'all serious? Don't make no sense to me. Tommy, Mr. Williams, what up?
Wow.
Yo, Mr. Fantastic, real shit. What's poppin'? One season healthy. Yeah, I can hear you. One season healthy. One season healthy. And y'all know Mr. Fantastic, he gonna say what he gonna say. When he sees something, he gonna call it for what it is. But this shit is a travesty.
Yeah, it was.
Racism, racism, right? Hold on. Racism, hold on, Ms. Wayne. Racism, placism. Stay in your fucking place. Don't be too confident around us. Oh, we'll show you. We'll show you. The link is sent, nigga. The link is sent. Motherfucker been sacked 60 times. And look what weird niggas do. Stay out. What the fuck you talking about, nigga? What are you talking about? I'm not having an objective conversation. This is a subjective conversation. Based on opinion, rooted in what we see, rooted in emotion. That's what this is. If y'all watch me enough, y'all know I don't really get riled up about shit. Y'all niggas don't bother me. But it bothers me when I see y'all going out y'all way. When I see y'all going out y'all way to make sure you get your shit off from a successful family, a successful father, a successful young man. When the people around them say, hey, this young man is great. And you niggas is talking about he's super cocky. What the fuck does that even mean? Tommy, he's a second team AP All-American. What football playing ass nigga you know ain't cocky? Tommy, he been sacked 70 times. No injuries. Tommy. He played in his bowl game with nothing to benefit from. Except for maybe get hurt. Tommy, Johnny football. Oh, let me pop the Bellevue and all that. He ain't cocky though.
Well, what's up, man? I'll explain this on Fantastic. So the Johnny football thing is a hard one for me, only because who drafted him. Like, the Cleveland Browns is a joke of an organization. We literally just watched them this year waste the 3rd round pick. And if you know football, you know how important the 3rd round pick is. And they literally just wasted one. Literally just took it, because if Shedeur ends up better than Gabriel, you literally just took a 3rd round pick and just threw it in the trash. That is insane.
Tommy, what you saying about the third round, right? Not the because you don't have to pay the third round pick like you got to pay the first and second rounders, right? But the third round, you get gems, you get starters, you get
That's still a starter
for that cost point, right?
I
like
want to
that
say
perfect
Max
price
Crosby,
point.
I think was third or fourth. Max Crosby that we got now with the Raiders.
Third.
Yeah. So, but
look, George Kittle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying a lot of the good tight ends, you see, they used to go right in that round. I think the tight end has been boosted up now more than ever, right? But back in the day, like, when did Gronk go? Did Gronk go?
I want to say might have been second, I think. Because I think Hernandez, went before him, I believe.
Second round, 42nd overall,
yeah,
bro.
Second round, yeah.
So literally 10 picks into the second round because the tight end wasn't quite seen. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get really good value. Really good value.
That's why, and I don't know if you guys remember that draft.
It's a good point.
People were basically.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
People with when they drafted Manziel, literally on stage was laughing at the Browns. Like, what are you doing? So that's why I say it's kind of hard to bring up that one because everybody knew they were idiots for even drafting him that high. I think Baker would be a better one, but even Baker, like, he went to the same team. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even if you've seen the documentary Johnny Football put out, like, they literally knew about the bullshit he was doing. But it's the Brown. You get what I'm saying? But I think with this one, it's a mix of a lot of stuff. One thing that I didn't notice while watching the draft was how little teams actually needed a quarterback. Like, that kind of threw me off. Because I wanted them to come to the Raiders, so I'm literally watching the teams ahead of me, and I think at one point we had probably like 20 teams ahead of me, and I think at one point like Pittsburgh was the only team that really needed a quarterback. So it was I think it was a mix of the limited amount of teams. But I sent you a video on Instagram, right, of Dion. I think the problem is
bullshit, Tommy. That's bullshit. The Raiders needed a quarterback. The Jets needed a fucking quarterback. The Steelers needed a quarterback. That's full of shit, man.
But let me know when I got permission to finish.
In your place. That was put you in. It's plenty of teams that need a quarterback, bro. Plenty of them. New Orleans. Plenty? It was plenty. You had the New York Jets, the Steelers, Cleveland. There's plenty of them. Even the Giants, for real, they don't even know what the hell it was doing.
That's not plenty.
Yes,
it's 32 teams. You name 4. That ain't plenty.
5 teams. The Raiders need one. What the hell are you talking about? They don't have a franchise quarterback.
Your audio sound like shit.
That's because I'm on the phone.
So out of 32 teams, you can name 4 or 5 teams, and that's plenty.
Well, that's 30. That's what is that? Almost 30% of the league. So if you got the Jets, Giants, Raiders, Seahawks, right? Because 10% they got
of the team, 10% of the league would be 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So 6 or 7 would be. That's what I'm saying. So you got the Jets, Giants, Raiders for sure.
No, the Raiders, because this is a difference, right? It's a difference between like I need one right now, and like so the Raiders got Geno, and I'm not saying Geno is our savior, but the Geno can hold it down for a year or two. So you're not in dire need of a quarterback. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying teams that were in dire need of a quarterback, right? Pittsburgh, I'm pretty sure. Dog, can I talk? Pittsburgh essentially, I'm pretty sure got to deal with Aaron Rodgers. I'm assuming, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty much locked in. The Giants, who knows what they were doing with the Dart situation. The Saints, I was surprised they didn't pick them. Tennessee had theirs, so you could pretty much take them off the board because they was picking no boy. Outside of that,
Jets.
I'm trying to think anybody that was who
the
is
Jets,
the Jets right now. No, they just signed Young Boy. They just signed Young Boy, didn't they?
Yeah, Justin's not good enough, right? I think we've seen.
I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying they signed Old Boy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, you're looking at franchise quarterbacks, right? So when you look at those teams, they don't have a franchise quarterback. So the Raiders don't have a franchise quarterback. You have a serviceable quarterback, but you need somebody behind him, right?
I agree, but I'm saying the position you're in. Okay, I put it like this, right? You had Cam Ward and you had Shedeur, and then the rest of them were pretty much.
So Tom, what's your overarching point? Like you're saying, what I
think what happened was when this whole started, when you go all the way back to, because they got the interviews in the Super Bowl. Deion was talking crazy, and I think it's hard to bring up the Mannings. I brought this up on Fantastic Thing, right? The world ain't fair, right? The Mannings have a last name. They have a solid last name, period, point blank. Like whether you like it or not. Don't look like that, my nigga. It's 3 out of 3 in the Hall of Fame.
And you talking about Deion, nigga that play both ways.
He played corner. Did he play quarterback?
And it don't matter.
3 out of 3 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame.
He played wide receiver.
3 out of 3 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. So I'll continue. So it's hard to bring up that. Made it yet. It's hard to bring up that because one, they got that last name, so they're NFL royalty. I don't think we have a family that's 3 out of 3 in the Hall of Fame. And number 2, we don't have interviews where Archie is literally. And I sent it to you. It's in your IG, and it's more because he was at the Super Bowl doing this. It's certain teams I ain't letting him go to. Hell, they got a tweet about the Browns where he said, "I like the Browns, but if my son got signed there, I'm pulling the Archie Manning." That's a tweet, a live tweet that's on there. So what I'm saying is, and then people are saying, "So what is Deion gonna say?" Neither one of the boys signed an agent. Deion is their advisor. So Deion's going to have some say.
What are you saying, though? I don't give a like.
So
what are you saying?
I don't think Deion did him any favors because I think if you're going to pull something like that, right, like a John Elway, right? When John Elway came out, they looked at him generational talent, great arm, yada yada yada. Whether you agree with it or not. You get what I'm saying? With a Shedeur, I think he's good. I don't think anybody looks at him as like generational talent. I don't think he's looked at in a position where I can come out and go, this team better not pick me. This team better not pick me. And I think that's what he did. And then on top of that, I think we need to see what's happening in the interviews. I'm with you. Publicly, I haven't seen him do nothing crazy. But word is getting out that some of the interviews, especially with teams that he didn't necessarily want to go to, he pretty much wet the bed in them. I wasn't in the rooms. We wasn't in the rooms. We would have to know that, but
man, that was a run nigga run situation. That's all that was.
It's hard to hear you, Miss Williams.
Yeah. So you just saying. So what we doing is we expounding on. This is exactly what I'm talking about, though, right? The fact that y'all can even fathom why it's okay for Manning and not okay for Deion Sanders. It's diabolical, Tommy. It's Deion Sanders. He's the best, arguably the best football player to ever live. When you have best football player conversation, he's in that top 3 or 5.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm going to pull a Archie Manning."
Yeah.
And guess who? Eli was good when it. You know what? He was good when it counted.
Yeah, I
you know
agree.
What I'm saying? He was good when it counted, even though that catch, like I never seen the fucking catch. Like
that's
in my life. But this is like, but what we're saying is, you don't have the cachet that Manning does. So literally,
it's not in the cachet.
Nah, but what it's cachets of the Manning. But what I'm saying is, it's literally the issue that I'm painting. Stay in your place, nigga. This is placism, right? You doing too much. How dare you tell us what you want? Like I'm not a second team AP All-American. One of 2. That's the problem, right? And you not doing it. I think that you being genuine in how you trying to break it down about the reasons why. But it simply bolsters my point. And you ain't even one of them niggas that be like, let me make sure I get the white man ice and not the nigga ice.
No, I want it. I want it, Shedeur. But what I'm saying is, for me, like, pull up that interview I sent you on IG, and you tell me that's gonna sit right with anybody.
I'm about to watch it right now. Let me get Miles, and then I'm gonna pull up the interview. All right.
Wow.
Mario, what's good, kid?
What's going on, Hamp? I see you lose a little bit more weight in your face, man.
Yo, you see me, baby. You know what I mean? I'm doing these tour days and all that. You know what I mean? But I gotta give you my mathematics so you can text me directly. I get so many messages on Instagram. So I'm gonna put my number in the back chat because I need what you be telling me, but I need you to tell it to me directly because I get mad messages. And then look at this shit right here, real quick. You see, I'm all excited because I miss you. I ain't seen you in a minute. You feel me?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Look at my text messages, bro.
Yeah.
Miles was good though.
What's going on? Look,
I thought I was bad at 300.
This is my wheelhouse because I just got out of college football.
You just got out.
Ago. So a lot of these dudes now were the freshmen that came in my senior year.
Yeah.
So that seeing all this take place is crazy now. And then
Miles, you play with Sauce?
Yeah. I play with Sauce, I play with Kobe, and then I play with all them. And then so now to see where because of him sliding so much, because of the organizations in the NFL, we know they want to run things a particular way. And for us, they don't want us to be too arrogant or boastful. And like when you see Shedeur and Shiloh, when they first saw the reaction of him not getting drafted as high as they thought he wasn't stressing about it because their family dynamic made them feel like I don't really need this as much because I just love the game, but I don't need it like y'all. This is not gonna stress me. Like, did you see it when Shiloh said, if they doing this to you, I don't know what they gonna do to me. And that nigga just laughed it off and just like he was cool about it. So I think for them, they wanted him to be clean cut like Cam Ward, to where he had to be like, I guess like the quarterback look, the standard quarterback look, but they don't like it when you do the bravado, arrogance, like how Dion used to do nowadays. But not you could do that corner, but not at the quarterback position.
Yeah, but you have to reconcile that with the ones I named, right? And then here's the other fly shit, Cam. So Cam, they actually talked about Cam disposition. Cam is like nonchalant.
Yes.
Right? He's almost like a Aaron Rodgers, like a kind of like a, I don't know, like Aaron Rodgers not likable, so I don't want to put that jacket on Cam. But Cam got like a nonchalant, and then remember Cam got the record, and then went and sat his ass down in the bowl game, right? True. But it just, it's something different. It's more to it. Feel me? It really is. But I understand. I catch your drift about the dynamics, though, right? Yeah. But they put that jacket on him. But can you reconcile that? Why it's okay for Baker Mayfield to grab his dick and be talking shit and acting like he a linebacker to linebackers and shit like that, right? Why does he get the jacket of being like, oh, he just tough, he just, you know what I mean?
I don't disagree with you at all on this. This is why, but like how I said at the beginning, they want, when you said they want us to be in a certain place and operate a certain way, while others have more of the freedom to act how they want to. Yeah. And then this is why, like, what would have been a G move is if Shedeur kept falling to where he got drafted super low or didn't get drafted at all, and then Travis did not sign with the Jags, and then they both said, "Fuck it, we going to the UFL. We gonna make this shit fly." That would have been that would have been a G move. Be like, you doing this to my boy? That's because that would have been a true brotherhood right there, to where they would have did some shit up.
Well, I understand. I think that'd be crazy, right? But I catch your drift though. All right, Tommy, you wanted to ask something? Let me get Hank and then Mr. Fantastic then.
Again, I think when we look at some of these players, we kind of have we had the outlook of we've already seen how their career panned out, right? So Eli Manning was the SEC top offensive quarterback, first team All SEC, SEC Player of the Year, first team All American, USA Today Player of the Year. I mean, the accolades go on. So when we see Eli as the Giants and we see him wet in the bed, we're coming from that perspective. Now that prospect is coming out with the Manning last name. You get what I'm saying? That's different. Now, when we look back and go, oh, we seen Eli with the Giants, we look at it differently. But if I read those accolades and your last name is Manning, your brother is Peyton, your dad is Archie, you get what I'm saying? Like that's different. That's a pedigree.
Well, you have the greatest athlete, arguably of all time, and then you have the AP All-American, Big 12 Player of the Year, right? So you can run it down. You know, like it doesn't. It doesn't.
But what I'm saying though, you got Pops, quarterback, Hall of Fame. Son, quarterback, Hall of Fame. Now you got Eli coming out of college, looking like he's taking the exact same direction, is what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I'm with you with Deion. Deion, and I think this was another part too, is Deion was a otherworld athlete. Period, point blank. Deion could have went in there and shit on the GM's desk and they were still gonna get him just off of pure talent. He was that ridiculous of an athlete. You get what I'm saying? Again, Shedeur is good, but he wasn't that. If his talent emulated Deion at the quarterback position, then 100% you're able to move that way.
You know what would be a perfect example is if he had Andrew Luck's generational prospect ability.
Exactly.
Because that's the cream of the crop prospect talent we've ever seen in our lifetime.
Yeah, Andrew Luck was great. This is Deion Sanders' son. I just don't know if everybody knows that.
No,
we're not disagreeing with you. He's a very good college prospect.
But wait, but Miles, you talking about pedigree. You talking about ability, right? This is Deion Sanders' son.
Yeah, but Hamp, I don't think that means anything though. I don't think that means it because Ronnie James is LeBron's son and he doesn't have his ability or athletic nowhere near with his.
But that's not this situation though, right? Shedeur is an AP second team All-American. He's rated as a second best quarterback in the draft. He's rated as a top 20 prospect overall. And you saying that he had a bad attitude, but he has a great reputation everywhere else, right? He moved from school to school. His teammates don't have a bad word to say about him. He made sure to put, when he had an opportunity on a microphone, to make sure to let them know that Travis Hunter is the Heisman Trophy winner, right? Oh, he flashed his watch. He ain't get smoked out, doped out, or none of that shit. Like, what are we even talking about? This is what I'm telling you. This shit is so weird to me, man. Hey, it's fantastic. What's popping? Then we get TJ.
Wow. But what I was saying, man, it's not Shadeur, it's his father. They showed the hand way too early, man. He showed his hand way too early, and they burnt him. A month before the draft, they was talking about he's going to dictate where his son goes or play. Well, he's talking about him and Travis Hunter, but he was talking about dictating how. You think that white folks will allow you to do? They already seen that shit in 2006 with Eli Manning. He did that shit. You think Roger Goodell gonna go for that shit? He's not going for that. He watched it happen. He was assistant commissioner when it happened. So now he's the head commissioner. You think he's gonna let that same situation happen again? No, they're not. But I think another thing is when he sits there and says,
talking about they ain't gonna let it. But Hank, you're highlighting the point that they're not gonna let no nigga do it.
No, I never said that word.
Well, you don't say that word, but I'm saying that you saying they ain't gonna let no nigga operate like that.
Well, I don't think they're gonna let white boy. I don't care what color they are. They ain't gonna let that shit happen again. Period.
But we just seen it though. We just seen white boys with bad conduct.
This is what I'm saying. I'm talking about dictate. Deion M was going to try to dictate how it going to get moved and how he's going to get drafted, where he's going to get drafted. They already seen that with Eli Manning. Eli said, we're not going to play for no teams on the West Coast. We're not playing for no team. San Diego, I don't care if you draft us. We're going to go through it. We're going to do everything we can. But we're going to do it in the back channel. We're not going to do it on Front Street. I think Deion tried to do it all on Front Street, letting it be known prior to the draft what he planned on doing, what he's going to do. I think if he kept that shit quiet, they probably could have got everything they wanted out of the situation. Instead, he told on himself. He showed his hand way too early, in my opinion. And I think this is why he's suffering. They sit there and say, no, Deion, we know you got a platform. We know you're one of the highest coaches in college football. We know when they put a microphone, you're going to express yourself and say what you want. What's going to happen if one of these teams going through a rough patch, because he's going to go to a weak team if he's going to get drafted high. They're going to go through a rough patch, and they lose it. Well, why ain't my son playing? They probably need to play Shedeur. He's going to be all in the air. So now this coach, the head coach of the team, is going to have to look over his shoulder. Owner's going to be looking over his shoulder. What we going to do? This man's going to keep saying, we don't keep needing this negative press. We getting enough negative press because we're not winning. Now we got somebody in college, his father, who's a polarizing type figure, is saying something. Yeah, they don't want that drama. I think that's why a lot of teams pass on, because they didn't want that drama what his father could possibly bring. Not Shedeur. I don't think it's Shedeur at all. I just think they're afraid of what his father could bring.
I could reply, but anybody else? Miss Fantastic, you was up next.
Yo, what up, man? Shout out everybody. Yeah, man, that's a bunch of bullshit. I said, I remember Andrew Luck's dad had some play in his play. Of course, the Mannings were public about what Eli was gonna do, and hell, I keep saying this shit. I don't even fuck with football, bro, but I don't think people understand the gravity of who Deion Sanders is. You put all the Mannings together, you don't get a Deion Sanders. Archie, Peyton, and fucking Eli, you don't get a Deion Sanders type talent, bro. You just don't get it. So, and this is the problem I'm having. People use that as an example, but then want to disqualify it. Like, no, well, they don't want to happen again. Well, you shouldn't have let it happen in the first time. Why do you make the examples with the fucking Mannings? If you don't make the examples with the Mannings, and then Andrew Luck's dad is a nobody, you know what I'm saying? You draft Johnny Manziel anyway. You draft Baker Mayfield anyway, right? It's bullshit. And I think, like I said, this is the problem with me. Take the race out of it, bro. Even if you take this is just purely fucked up. To where you're targeting one motherfucker and you're being like, hey, we're gonna punish you for, like you said, your attitude, for cockiness. That's what I'm saying. He got no criminal record. He ain't got no baby mama. He ain't got no type of scandal. The boy then went from a HBCU team to a FBS team, to the FBS team from a one-win team to the fucking a bowl game in 2 seasons. Like, threw for more yards. Like, well, I think it was a top 5 yards quarterback in college, right? Impeccable. He can speak. He because he's sitting next to the fucking Heisman Trophy winner. A part of the Heisman Trophy winner winning the fucking Heisman, because that's who's throwing the ball to him. People not even considering that. It's just so many things in here, man. And I think they did a lot. I think the NFL is gonna learn from this in the long run. That good old boy shit is gonna cost them, because I promise you this. More likely than not, Deion is gonna end up being an NFL head coach. It's just inevitable. You know, maybe early or maybe as soon as his contract up. But on the back end of this, I'm betting money that Deion is doing everything he can do, bro, to take this as far as he can possibly take it, and they're gonna pay for this in more ways than one. Because his number getting leaked and shit like that, to where the only people had it was the the NFL owners and the NFL. That's gonna play. I think that was where they let it fuck up, to where they let that happen, and it clearly shows that this was personal. And you can't be personal in business, because you will pay for that shit. You know what I'm saying? If it's litigated.
Yeah. And that's the overarching point, right? When Mel Kiper was talking, he can't say particular things, but he was disgusted by this shit when Mel Kiper was talking. And we don't have to, in Mr. Fantastic, we don't have to remove race. We don't have to remove classism. I'm telling you, when they see a nigga talking like how Deion talking, they take exception with that shit. All I can think about is Bright Boy. All I can think about is who's that nigga on that nag. They got this how dare you syndrome shit, bro. That shit is really real. You talked to crackers before. You seen entitlement.
No, I covered that. Like I said, that is a part of it, as to where, if you're a big nigga, you automatically aggressive. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch how you talk. People not comfortable. Well, you don't talk to enough people. You're just so standoffish. Okay, motherfucker, I'm not your fucking comedian, motherfucker. What's gonna be, you know what I mean? I'm not here to tell jokes, motherfucker. I'm here to do my job and go home.
What? So
always
but
happening.
the thing about it, that's what I'm saying. It's the father. Dion's doing this. You're not hearing Shedeur talking like this. That's his dad's talking like this.
We're not arguing that, though, Hank. If anybody's earned the right, his father has.
Father can talk.
Hold on.
Whatever shit he wants.
But hear what I'm saying.
I need you to play that video. Wait, hold on. I want you to play that video, Hamp, and I want people to tell me that sits right with you.
And before you pull the video, as you cue the video up, Hank, I'm still saying this, right? What in your mind makes you think that, and this is what I'm saying, everybody's doing a disqualifier but not giving Dion grace or giving Shedeur grace. Let's say he was cocky, he was arrogant, and he was this. I promise you, Shedeur Sanders didn't pull up in the motherfucking interview with a box of chicken and motherfucking his hat to the back. Like, what was we doing, nigga? You niggas hiring.
So one of the stories was when he had his meeting with Brian Daboll, right? The story was when they got to the whiteboard, he wasn't fully prepared. And when Brian Daboll called him out on it, again, we wasn't there. This is what's being said. He didn't take it well. I don't know what he didn't take it well means, but that's what they're saying.
Exactly, but
that's what they do. Mr. Fantastic just said.
We do that all the time. I told you, like you said yesterday, Tommy. I went through this shit with my own son, bro. This vague shit. Oh, he was disrespectful. Disrespectful how? Disrespectful how? Tell me how.
No, I would like all the details. If you're gonna say it, give me all the details.
That's what we saying. This is what I'm saying. And unless you show me the tape, unless you show me a fucking what you call the motherfucker that take the transcript, a transcript of everything that happened, I don't want to hear that shit.
Because they even asked Daboll about it after the draft, and Daboll said, I had great interviews with all 35 prospects, yada yada yada. But we know that's what they do. They talk behind your back and then smile in your face.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What makes it even further more fucked up is the same team that ended up drafting him drafted a trash ass motherfucker in front of them. So that's what I'm saying. The problem is so many layers to this shit, man, as to where everybody ought to see a problem. And him, I'm not saying remove the race and not talk about the race. I'm just saying remove the race for the motherfuckers that keep using that as an excuse. Either way, race or not, we've never seen a number 2 motherfucking pick. I mean, a number 2 prospect, like I said, top 20, number 2 at the position, top 20 motherfucking prospect, drop down to the 5th round of the motherfucking NFL draft.
It makes no sense, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not dismissing the race. There's a racial aspect because it definitely is. And let me address what Hank was saying. Hank, again, Dion is smart enough, and Dion has his own thing going on. Dion's gonna go hard in the paint for his son when his son is playing for him in college. I promise you, Deion Sanders cannot, for professional reasons and for in the best interest of his son, go be verbally, publicly vocal about his son in the NFL. He's just not. Okay. Y'all not even giving Dion credit for him to know better.
He's already did it, though. Fantastic. He's already did that.
He's not in the NFL though. That's what he's supposed to do to get him to the NFL.
None of these kids are apparently in the NFL. But what I'm saying is, if
none of their parents are Deion Sanders.
Fantastic. Let me finish, though. If they're gonna sit there and make the statement, I'm going to dictate where my son's going to a month before the draft. We're not going to do interviews with certain teams unless you're picking in the top 3. We're not doing no interviews. Why are you telling your son to do that? Why are you operating and moving like that? Why is that the situation?
Well, all right. So I know this is kind of different because this wasn't before the draft. But if I remember right, Jameis' dad or uncle or somebody ended up being his agent, right? Jameis Winston?
Yeah.
Dad or uncle or somebody.
I think it's uncle.
Yeah, uncle. Either way, even after the process, bro, in negotiations and everything, the shit is the same across the board. You're always going to have somebody that's more outspoken, somebody that's going to make demands or say something outrageous or whatever to get media attention and to do whatever. Sometimes it's in the best interest. Sometimes it's just a dumbass move. What I'm saying is this. Deion Sanders, nobody's even talking about. Deion said the same. He didn't just say it's about Shedeur. He said the same thing about Travis. Deion said the same shit about Travis. Hey, so that's what I'm saying.
At the same time, he said that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this, right? Deion is supposed to talk as highly as he can and even oversell his players if he want them to get into the next level. What makes it bad though is he didn't have to oversell them because both of the motherfuckers produce. Now clearly, Travis Hunter is on another level than Shedeur. I'm not saying they're the same. But what I'm saying is, bro, Shedeur showed and proved any and everything you can do in college.
You're right. But Okay, he said the same thing about Travis. Again, Travis one of them dudes. He could have went in there, took his shit on the table, and walked out, and they still gonna draft him. Why? Because his talent jumps off the page. But hold on, let's watch the interview.
But Eli doesn't.
I want somebody to tell me this sits well.
Have you told him privately who you would like for him to play for?
It's not like who I would like for him to play for. It's a couple teams that I won't allow him to play for. Whoa. Teams that I won't allow him to play for. Whoa. This is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. We ain't got to get back there for me to understand what's not prominent for my son. I'm not doing it.
And if he doesn't listen to you?
Who? No, you must mean owners, like not my son.
And was this last? This wasn't.
No, fantastic. What I'm saying is he calmed that down. That's the talk he started with, and I think people got in his ear was like, "Yo, you gotta chill," and he calmed that talk down. But that's the talk. That's not the only interview he did that. That was his narrative.
Yeah, but I'm still saying this is what I'm saying though. This is why I'm asking that the timing is Tommy, hear me out, brother. I'm asking the question. Was this last season or his first season in Colorado? When was this interview had?
This was after the first season in Colorado.
Fantastic. What does that matter? Why? How do you think you're going to determine and dictate and tell these owners which and who are you going to move and operate? How are we going to draft and what you're going to do? Like, who are you going to tell somebody else? I can't tell Fantastic how to run this show or do it. I can't do that. But that's what he's trying to do
all the time. But people do it all the time.
And we see the results. We see the results yesterday.
Let me say that.
So
this is
what I think they did. I think they all collaborated.
Talking about though, this is the coon shit that we're talking about. We hear the black dad. Y'all even looking at him sideways. He says straight up, "I've been behind closed doors. I know how they run these organizations."
Yeah.
What does he say? Like, what are y'all saying?
So
if my son go to work for Enterprise, bro, over Hertz, right? Because I worked at those places, I'm saying, yo, don't go to fucking Hertz. Fuck Hertz. Enterprise program got X, Y, and Z. This is Deion Sanders talking his shit. This regular shit.
Okay, there's 32.
What I'm saying though, go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
There's 32 starting positions in the NFL. 64 altogether when you include the backups for quarterbacks, right? To get even the lowly Cleveland Browns, it's a privilege to get picked by any of them. So to go out and say, nah, it's certain teams out there, you ain't like, and you saying this happens all the time. Go find me a handful of interviews like that, Fantastic. I'll wait.
Again, I don't need
No, you said this happens all the time. Go find me we got YouTube.
I only need one, and then I know it happened twice. One outside of fucking.
No. I said go find the interview. Show me on TV where somebody's telling them these teams better not, because even the stuff that happened with Eli, that was reported. That happened behind the scenes and was reported. This man is on TV saying, yeah, a couple of them teams better not. And is he going to listen to you? Who, my son? So y'all literally said, what is Deion gonna do if he get? He literally just said, who's gonna listen to you? Who, my son?
My niggas,
what you saying? I have no problem with what Deion said. My problem is why do you have to tell everybody? Don't show your hand. This is me, my son.
Y'all niggas is wilding. I'm just gonna tell y'all are wilding. This is Deion Sanders, and y'all telling Deion Sanders he can't say what Deion been saying for 30 years.
He can do what he want to do. He can say what he
the first NIL person. He the first NIL player we ever seen. So we talking about cachet pedigree. Huh?
There's consequences to his actions. There's consequences to his actions, and I think these are look at white boys ain't gonna go for that shit. There's consequences to your action. You're not going to tell us how we're going to move in, we operate our organization. I don't agree with it. I hate it for one. But I sit there and watch, like the interview. I seen 2 other interviews.
Hold on. What's going on, Hamp? What's going on? Tell me what you were saying, right? When you talking about emotionality, right? This is a subjective conversation regarding opinions, right? And so you say if black men express themselves how they want to, you call them emotional?
No, what I'm saying is that, you got to keep your emotions out of business.
You watch my show, sir?
Yeah, I always watch your show, bro.
So you know I'm not emotional. I stay in frame, right? But when I see my brothers with influence, right, saying things negatively when they don't need to, I don't understand why y'all do that. That makes no sense, right? He didn't do anything egregious enough to where you saying he's super cocky. When did you see him be super cocky?
Well,
let me say this. I love you first and foremost. Let me get that out the way before we, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
In my opinion, I think it was wrong. I mean, after I wanted him to go to Pittsburgh. Him going to the, falling to the 5th round, I think it's ridiculous too. But if it was my team, I dictate who. If you, like I said, if you're that great, you could be a murderer, and they'll make you the number 1 pick. Clearly, a lot of teams don't think he's that great. Otherwise, he would have been picked up a long time ago.
Now, what do you think about? I understand your point. Now, what do you think about the point simply, right? He was ranked top 20 prospect. So overall, top 20 prospect, second rated quarterback. At the very least, there was 4 teams, just to be fair, that absolutely needed a quarterback, right? And even when you look at the class for next year, it's not prime real estate, Right. So if I'm looking at it and I'm seeing his father with such cachet, have you seen where white people kind of take exception when we have too much bravado? They tell us we aggressive, we this, we that. Have you seen that in Earth? Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm simply saying, right? I see a level of maybe like placism, right? Because I don't know if it'd be classism because Dion got a lot of money, But it's like placism. It's almost like you said, you're not gonna tell them white boys how to run your team. It's like, I'm gonna humble you. I'm gonna show you that you can't talk to me like that. Does that have any credence in your estimation?
Well, I'm just saying, just in general, even if it's your business, if it's my business, I'm gonna do what's best for my business. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't think he's a good talent, he's a good player, but he's not on that level that he has to be the second pick or be in the 1st round. If in that case, somebody would have been picked him up.
No,
y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking in business wise, and I like I say, I believe he should have been in the 1st round too. I was hoping Pittsburgh would pick him up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just speaking business wise, and I get the whole point of, we want to teach you a lesson, teach you and your dad a lesson, whatever that. Y'all ain't all that, and we're gonna put you in your place and all that kind of foolishness. But I'm just saying, just in general, if a team if they really thought he was all that, they would have picked him up. Whether you think he's cocky or not. And bringing up what's his name, Mayfield and all that stuff. Look how long hasn't been in the league long. So all that,
he's been in 2018, so 8 years, so decent. 7. Yeah, Baker, about 7 years, But just to reiterate, right? I just want to make sure, right? Because in terms of what we've seen, what you've experienced, what I've experienced, right? I've seen it happen where we get called aggressive, they'll get called passionate, right? And I'm not saying that doesn't have to knock us off our square, but we've been subject to that, right? And when I look at his father with such great influence, right, talking with the confidence that Dion always talks about or talks with, I see them taking a level of exception. Like there was one year as an example where Lamar should have been a unanimous MVP, right? But it's always one that like voted for someone else when the numbers, nothing added up, And when I see him drop to the 5th round and you have 5 quarterbacks taken before him that not even rank. So when you just look at their stats, when you look at their ability, when you look at the size, even they don't even measure up. Like a Dylan Gabriel, he's shorter, he's older. One guy had never made it through one season. He was the backup for Trevor Lawrence, and he got drafted right before him to the Saints. When I look at that, I'm looking at everything that we put in that equation, and I'm saying that placism thing resonates with me. Do you think I'm off base when I do this calculation?
No, but I mean, you can't necessarily say Gabriel is garbage either. I don't think.
I just don't think he's that good in He's not as good as I like Gabriel. He's tough. He's smart. You know, he played a lot of games, right? But I'm just saying, compared to his peer group, he's not that good. To me and you, he probably, you know what I mean. But his peers, you know, you know what I'm saying. So
even when Jalen Milroe got picked ahead of
that's a running back.
He's a hell of an athlete, but
he's a great athlete. But that's a running back, D-Lock. That's a running back that got picked at quarterback before him. So, I'm glad he got drafted, right? All the boys, you know. But it just
not glad he went to Cleveland, but glad he got drafted.
It disheartened me because I just know what that looks like. Just living in this earth as a black, because we overcome shit a lot, right? So when people start talking about that, woe is me, racism, you can't talk that shit to me, right? We pushed through a lot. My family doing well, but I could still see it and acknowledge it when it happens. You know what I'm saying?
But I think
I gotta get TJ in. I salute the D-Lock.
I
asked him to hit the link. He obliged me, so I appreciate it. I just want to make sure we had that conversation because oftentimes in the chats things may come across how they not actually meant, right? Because text doesn't have a tone, so the tone is assumed. You feel me? Right. So D-Lock, I appreciate you. Let me get TJ in. Don't go nowhere. We're gonna finish talking it out, and then I gotta go to the I don't know where I'm going to eat.
Wow.
TJ, what's happening?
What up? Y'all can hear me pretty good?
Yes, sir. What's goody?
Okay, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Illinois. Listen, Camp, have you ever heard the expression, everybody your color ain't your kind?
Yes.
That's what we're dealing with here with the situation with Shedeur Sanders. We all watch what the fuck happened. We all know what the hell happened, but yet we got people up here, I'm not just on the panel, but just in general, helping these white boys, you know, spread this propaganda about Shedeur not being prepared and all this, that, and the third. Let me ask you guys a question. What is more offensive and more egregious? What Deion and Shedeur allegedly are doing and behaving, or a NFL prospect who got rumors of the bodies on them? And as it turned out, it was actually the case.
The latter.
The latter, right. So Aaron Hernandez, when he got drafted by the Patriots, there were already rumors that this man had bodies attached to him. So you mean to tell me that was okay? But some dude who's a father, an all-time great, top 5 all-time great, he can't instill confidence in his son. He can't instill greatness in his son.
Brother.
He can't talk like about his son. Do not interrupt me. I sat here quiet for 30 minutes. Cannot instill greatness in his son, and that's a crime. But a dude who got bodies on him, that ain't no crime. And we sitting around here defending it and helping spread the propaganda as if there's any kind of justification for what the NFL owners did to this young man. They got a problem. Look, all 32 owners are a bunch of pussies because they got a problem with Deion and decided, instead of dealing with Deion, they decided to squeeze his son. What kind of pussy ass nigga do stuff like that?
First of all,
So,
32
TJ,
teams
I
didn't
don't
need a
think
quarterback.
nobody's fighting you. I don't think nobody's fighting to argue against that. I agree. They did him wrong. They totally did him wrong.
He's coloring what we're saying wrong. Nobody had a problem with him instilling confidence. Telling teams you better not pick my son ain't instilling confidence.
I don't give a goddamn what Deion said.
We understand you don't give a goddamn, but they do.
Listen, especially after what Eli hijacked the whole goddamn draft by crying and pouting, and they still took his ass in the first fucking round. After all of that goddamn crying and pouting, he hijacked the whole goddamn draft. Did he fucking slide? Did they throw him out of the NFL? No. I don't want to hear shit about Deion's talk or Shadeur's fucking watch or his confidence. I don't want to hear shit about that.
Crazy.
This was all about nigga stay in your place. Nigga stay in your place. That's what this is all about. Sorry about the
I
yelling.
forgot what happened in the Eli Manning situation. He didn't say anything. It was his dad doing all the talking. And when they did interview him, they said they didn't answer the question. Talk about, well, what's this about? We're not gonna talk about. Well, he said he's gonna go through with the process. He got drafted by the same team he didn't want to get drafted by They did the shit behind scenes. They didn't do it on Front Street. They didn't come out and tell them what they was gonna do. We just did it. That's the difference. Deion told you on multiple opportunities and interviews, my son's not interviewing with these people. We're not going here. We're not going to certain teams just don't even talk because we're not going there. That's
he went down Super Bowl road. He went down Super Bowl road.
Hold on, Tommy. You done hijacked the whole conversation. Hank, I understand your point, but what Eli did on that draft, he was still allowed to play in the NFL. Let Shedeur do some shit like that and see if he is still allowed to play in the NFL.
What did Eli do? Are we missing something?
Oh, you don't know what the hell Eli did? Eli got drafted. Let me give you some history. He got drafted by the Chargers. He refused to go. He started crying and pouting on national TV until the Chargers traded him to the damn Giants. And Tommy,
let me explain to you what happened.
Hold on a
You're
second.
making
And
up
Tommy,
history.
hold on, Tommy, real quick. And fucking Eli is not in the Hall of Fame. He's not.
Okay, so number one, Eli's going to the Hall of Fame, whether you like it or not. Number
Eli
two,
ain't going no goddamn where.
Number two, what actually happened, not this bullshit you came up with, was they went to the Chargers behind the scenes and told them not to.
Why you keep saying that, Tommy?
Huh?
Why you keep saying that?
Because what I'm saying is, listen, the Chargers leaked that out.
But
Chargers leaked out that they did. So wait a minute. So what happened was the Chargers ended up making a trade with the Giants.
But it doesn't
got picks and they got a player.
But it doesn't.
Go ahead.
But only thing is, it doesn't refute nothing TJ's saying though.
No, it does. Because what he said was he got drafted by the Chargers and started crying publicly. That's not what happened. All right,
That's what I'm saying. Y'all making a way for that shit when you don't have to.
I'm not making a way. What I'm saying is what actually happened. The deal was already sealed before he was drafted. There was no need for him to start crying after the draft. They knew it was going to happen.
You're
inaccurate.
Y'all want Deion to not be Deion. Y'all think that
No,
those teams
Deion is always going to be Deion.
But y'all trying to justify why the boy got railroaded because his dad talked so much. That's ridiculous.
Again, nobody's saying that it was right. What we're saying is he didn't do his son any favors. Again, he went down Super Bowl road. That's the NFL. And literally interview telling people, these certain teams, they better not pick my boy. Down Super Bowl road.
All right, let me read these real quick.
Like, to think that's doing your son any favors is insane to me.
Exactly.
No, because
everybody your color ain't your kind, dog.
Hey, y'all guys remember Cam Newton and Jameson Winston? All the stuff that they went through, but yet they were still the #1 pick overall.
Uh-huh.
So if teams feel that you can make a difference on their team, I don't give a damn what you're going to do. They're going to pick you. Period.
Yeah, I think that's
my point of it. I don't care if they feel
y'all don't
that
understand.
But the dynamic here, the dynamic here that TJ is articulating is, I'm telling you, when they see a person like Deion, when you can't deny him, they are unapologetic. You know, they'll say the things that people don't normally say, right? They took this opportunity to humble that man. You ain't us, you ain't them, you ain't in charge. And then they put the word nigga behind it. That's
I said that they humbled them. I said that.
But they go ahead, TJ.
A lot of people underestimate how much pride and spite people can have and hurt their own self over their pride and spite, even billionaires. This was all about pride and spite, what these owners did to Shedeur. And they cost themselves because of this. Now, when Shedeur, he's going to ball out. He's going to make them pay.
I hope so.
You must not watch the NFL.
But this is all about pride and spite. And it's trying to sit around and justify why these owners did what they did. Oh, they'll take them because if this or that. No, they did this out of spite. They didn't care about what was going to best for their franchises. They don't give a damn about these franchises when they getting $300 million checks a piece just off of TV rights. They don't give a damn about the damn team. They give a damn about their control, their influence, and you niggas staying in your place. One more other thing, then I gotta go. Here's the other thing that we're not talking about. Shedeur Sanders isn't some hard luck story. He's not from a single baby mama who sold coochie on the strip, daddy in jail who done murdered 4 people. That's not Shedeur Sanders' story. He's not the typical super black athlete story. He comes from a good father, a good pedigree, a confidence. He has a faith belief that a lot of them don't. They don't like that shit. They don't like it.
I would have loved him to be on my team because I think it would have brought more business, more attention.
But you don't own the fucking team. Them white boys do.
Listen, one thing I know about them folks is what they love more than hate us is money. So
I'm gonna tell you,
apparently not.
When they see a super nigga, bro, they took the opportunity, man. That's what they did. They willing to sacrifice all that shit. 5th round is diabolical. That shit is
that shit was nuts.
It's egregious, man. And it's deeper than what we're giving it credit for. I agree. But the fact that they don't like him, right? They don't like him for the plethora of reasons, right? Yeah. And how he look is one of them shits. And they willing to sacrifice a whole lot to make that point, man. Go ahead.
This shows you how bad it is, Ham. This is so diabolical, so egregious that even fucking Donald Trump went to Twitter and was like, "Yo, what the hell are y'all doing?" That when Donald Trump says something that's corrupt and diabolical and evil, come on, man.
That man is a good ass. As Ava the 20 ball says, please play the video I sent you because they may feel better if a white man said that was the clip that I brought up of Skip Bayless. But I gotta go soon. I'll drop it in the chat so we can take a look at that. Aaron with the $5 says Papa Manning and Deion in the Hall of Fame, right? They both went out bragging and speaking up for their sons. What's another difference by color? So I guess he pointed out the stark difference. As Ava the $5 says, Tommy B, that's silly. Quote, I wasn't there, end quote. But you know he must have done something wrong. To how many interviews did you go, Tommy? Well, I think he understands that he wasn't at the interviews, but you know, they leave so much up to just what our assumption is. I don't think he didn't. Yeah. If they say he didn't do that good on the board, how long did he have to study that playbook? And if you're discussing how you see or what you would run, right? And you don't like his response, he may be refuting the fact that no, I would rather run this than that if they in a cover 3 on 3rd down and 10 yards, right? So if we used to call it like chalk talk or board wars, right? We are going back and forth about what's the best option based on the scheme, down and distance, and etc. Right? So I mean, I don't know. It just my boy.
Let me respond to that last one here. You didn't read it.
This one, I read this. Oh wow! Oh, ask Ava the fellas. Wow, white man is a pedigree and black man is ignorance. Okay, Tommy. So say how you really feel. You sound like a jig doer. Tommy, stand on something. Miles, you too. Go ahead.
So, you're a football guy, right?
Yeah.
Now, father's a quarterback. Son is a quarterback. Was number 1 player, not quarterback, number 1 player coming out of college. Second son, number 1 player coming out of college. I think that holds a different weight than, again, Deion, the superb athlete that he was. Haven't seen nothing like him since. And then your son comes out and he isn't matching that, is what I'm saying. And then you're treating him as if he has the same talent as you do. When Deion came out, he said it out of his mouth. Some teams talked to him and he said, what number you pick at? They told him the number. He said, I won't even be there when you get there. Why? Because of Deion's talent. He knew he wasn't going too high. The problem with Shedeur was he treated Shedeur as if he was in that same boat, and he was not. Again, Shedeur is good. Not saying he's a scrub
it
by
is
no
being
means.
hijacked now. So all right, so I understand that, but let me read these real quick. Aaron with the $2 says black dads never allowed to big up their children. As Ava the $5 says black men voice their pee out loud. The white man's ploy works again. If we do it to him, we will scare the others on the plantation. Aaron with the $2 says, what excuse y'all got for them prank calling him? And that was just foul. American Rifleman with the $2 says, Shedeur Sanders not that good. Y'all mad? What you talking about? Just hit the link. Just the link. Like Aaron with the $2 says, this is why YNs don't listen. Who protects them? As Ava the $5 says, because they are racist behind the curtain is true. Tommy, nobody is making Dion chill. Do you remember how these coaches talked about Dion as a coach? Aaron with the $2 says, a black father can't protect his seed in public. Mike Brown with the $2 says, Hank on the other team, quote, shut up and dribble, end quote. You want to respond to this, Hank?
Fuck you.
American First Rifleman with the $2 says, was a loud mouth and a bad sportsman. He's not good. Hit the link, AFR. As Ava the $5 says, white people don't do what's best for their business. Look at who Trump is hiring. He know white folk higher than their own, qualified or not. Dre with on the ground with the $5 says, black power. Let's go, TJ. Salute to TJ. He had to get up out of here. Jay Miller with the $2 says, stop expecting these white folks to treat us fairly. Manaz with the $5 says, y'all keep acting like Shedeur needs the NFL. He doesn't because Dion ain't the average black former player. Dion has made those men puppet proof. That's a fact, though. That's a great point, Manaz. As Abe with the $2 says, TJ, that was awesome. Great to see you again. Mike Brown with the $5 says, Archie Manning will prove everything we're saying. Hasn't played much or will have the accolades, but more than likely will be the first rounder. Yeah, Archie's not it. Not it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get Poppy in. Poppy, what's goody?
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, what up though?
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, my brother. How you?
Good, yo. So you covering little Sanders debacle?
Yeah, but what's been being talked about is not what I opened up with. My thing that gives me cause for pause mostly is black men like almost like celebrating the fact that this happened to the boy. Like acting like this shit is cool, like he needed it. That shit grinds my gears. That shit stuffs my Timbs the most. Like we are talking about the whys and what could have hurt him and etc. I could understand Hank and Tommy point on that, right? But the fact that niggas is like celebrating the fact that happened, Poppy, is the shit that grinds my gears the most. For me,
like nothing justified this man being the second graded quarterback in the draft. To remind you, this is a very, very weak draft when it comes to quarterback. Very weak. But still, he managed to be the second best graded quarterback according to Mel Kiper. That's his name, right?
Yeah,
Mel Kiper Jr., right? Yes,
Yeah.
and he's the guru.
No,
He's the guru out of all this shit.
Mel had him at number one.
I think he switched it up, Tommy, because he switched it up lately.
Mel had him at number one.
Okay,
that's
why.
Either
way, one or two. Yeah, the very worst, he was at second best. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, to remind you, he was graded to be the top 20 player in the entire draft. Top 20, right?
20 years. Number 20.
I had Shadeur going with the Saints. That's what I had him going. That was my first pick. The Saints or the Raiders. That's what I thought he was going to go, right? That was the two picks that they was going to pick him at. Some way, somehow, this boy ended up being in the 5th round, bro. This is bigger than football, man. And the only thing that I can come up with is Sanders. That's a family name. That's a brand. He coming in there with a brand. You see what I'm saying? Them guys, they don't like that shit, bro. I think that's the only thing that I can come up with. He don't got no criminal record, right? He don't got I haven't heard no negative stuff about the boy because I watched a lot of Colorado football for the past 2 years, bro. That was the place to watch football, right? He had a terrible offensive line. Whoever watched football, that you can tell he had a terrible offensive line. He still put up 3,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. You see what I'm saying? With a terrible offensive line, right? Can he improve his game? Of course, bro. I think he got to improve his pocket presence. I think he don't got that much awareness in the pocket. He's very tough, though. He's extremely tough. Everybody familiar with John Elway?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
John Elway told the Baltimore, they was in Baltimore Ravens, the Baltimore Colts, I believe, back in the 82, 83, one of those years, right? He told them boys, yo, if you draft me, I will not play for you, fam. I'm about to take my ass to go play baseball because John Elway was a good-ass baseball player. He got drafted to play baseball, too. Guess what the Baltimore Ravens, the Baltimore Colts did? Trade him. They trade him. You see what I'm saying? So, what Shedeur and little Sanders and Deion Sanders, all of them did is nothing different. Archie Manning did it, too. You see what I'm saying? But with Archie Manning, what happened was it wasn't on social media back then. It wasn't on social media, so everything was kept on the wrap. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is something bigger, and I don't understand it because
you understand it. You understand it. You know what it is.
No. I know the whole race part, but this is the part that I don't understand, HAMP, right? Because Deion Sanders is actually loved, bro. I don't hear no negatives about Deion Sanders.
No. But yo, Poppy, I like the conversation we having. I gotta go eat with the fam, but because I usually don't go live on something. But this shit was scuffing my Timbs, B. I was rolling over in my bed and all that. Feel me? Just cause I'm just looking like why brothers is it's like celebrating this shit. They would like having fun, like AFR.
Yeah. Can I tell you people celebrate?
Let me just clarify this real quick. D-Lock, so once we actually talked through it, you were talking about more football shit with the exception of like the cocky thing, right? But I think so yours isn't as overt, right? But when I was looking at other shit mostly, it was like, yo, right? It's just
no,
like
I know what you're saying here.
They get a level of solace out of it, right?
It's the same thing that happened with LeBron's son. It was like, wait, why are y'all this juiced? Like, it just seemed like it was a celebration because Bronny wasn't what LeBron was, or because he got drafted so low, and then it was a problem because he got drafted because Bron. And it's like, bro,
remember,
like,
you want to know why? I remember Mail right here, right? I was on a panel giving him the blues, right? He was talking shit in the chat. I told him shut his fucking mouth or hit the link. He shut his fucking mouth and he didn't hit the link that day.
Do you want to know why people celebrate? The people that is celebrating.
Yeah, why?
Miserable people hate winners, bro. That's one thing I know. Miserable people, losers, right?
Black men, though. I'm talking about black men, right?
Yeah,
black
they are. Some of them are losers too. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about loser in general, right? Loser ain't got no color or race. You a loser, right? Losers, right? This is one thing I noticed, right? Losers hate when it's somebody that is winning because it's not them. But they don't understand that even when the winner lose a little bit, they're still gonna continue to be losers no matter what. I've seen that. Think about it, bro. Everybody be hoping for the guys to get to the top. As soon as you get to the top, they want you to lose, bro, because they want to pull you back down so you can be right with them, bro. That's the loser mentality, bro.
I just think people in general just need to understand that nobody's bigger than any sport. And I was looking at Travis Hunter when the ownership was talking to him and everything, and they was talking about how they love his energy, his smile, and how he loves the game and all that. How it's gonna bring people together and all that stuff. It's gonna bring so much excitement and all that stuff. But then I guess on the other hand, they see Shedeur as the league needs him. You know what I mean? So I guess in a way they wanted to, as you say, put him in place that we don't need you. We don't need none of y'all. Y'all need us. You know what I'm saying? So for you to deny to interview with any other teams, like who are you to, you know what I mean? So
No, that's definitely the thinking. Nah, I catch your drift. Let me read this real quick. I gotta get out of here. DC Slim with the $5. What about the other black players who got drafted? Y'all doing this because it's Deion's son. Them crackers got y'all going again. Yeah, and I think that we've been discussing that, and I allowed it, right? Because it's a part of the conversation, right? Oh yeah, James, you already. So, but I mainly just wanted to talk. Like, it's just weird when I see people saying that type of shit. Like, I just don't get it. But like Hank was talking about, here's how people could see the presentation of the family in totality, as was Tommy, right? I'm more so talking about boom, like niggas like, oh, that's what he get. He did. It's a weird energy to have.
No, it's super weird. It's super weird.
But
I think
Happy,
it's like what Poppy say. Misery loves company.
But another thing too, though, like look what happened with like the LeVar Ball. You see what I'm saying? They came into the league with a brand because when LeVar put his sons in the league, they came with paper. There wasn't the broke average motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? They came there with millions. And you know, LeVar was talking that shit. Guess what? They don't like that shit when niggas is talking too much, bro. And especially because, and this is what I cannot prove this, but this is what I think, right? I think when you come there with a brand, they think that you're gonna put your brand before you put the thing or the organization that you're playing with. That's what I believe is in play too.
Yeah, they see it as a potential distraction, right? And I hear that, right? But I also saw when Johnny Manziel had the Johnny football trademark, you know, and all that stuff is oftentimes championed, you know. But I think those are good points when the father is involved, right? Because true, like keep it tall like this, and I gotta go after this, right? That y'all was dealing with women coming up. How much easier was it when her daddy wasn't in her house?
It wasn't.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying just to get access.
Hard.
No,
Yeah,
so
when
her daddy to get access when her dad wasn't there.
It was hard to get access if she had a father in life. Period.
That's what I'm saying.
If her father was actually
He's saying if he wasn't.
That's what I'm saying, though, right? You know, it's like, yo, when the dad did, it ain't just all Dad gonna catch some shit. Especially your dad was an NFL player at that. You can't play with him the same way. That's actually an interesting point. Yo, listen, I think I'm gonna revisit this shit tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna revisit this shit tomorrow for sure because I gotta go. God damn, maybe later.
Yeah, tell James to meet me in the Discord.
Hey, D-Lock, I don't know if D-Lock, your name changed, so I don't know if you want to change it because it got your whole government up there. Oh, I'll do it because I don't know if D-Lock did that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Hank does that from time to time too, D-Lock. It be the age thing. Y'all just get, you know what I mean? Ain't no big deal.
Hold on, go to hell. Now you ain't never seen my government name up there.
Hey man, I gotta go, man. We might jump in the Discord. Let's finish the conversation. Poppy, you in the Discord? I don't think I ever seen Poppy in there. I don't think I've seen D-Lock in there before either, man.
You got me blocked, so I can go in there.
Get the fuck out of here. Somebody drop the Discord link real quick, man. Look at American Negro. Why, bro? Why? Hey, man. Dope show, man. I appreciate y'all coming.
See you later, man.
A lot of super dope commentary. I appreciate D-Lock hitting the link so we can get that clarity and that point of connection. You feel me? And build that rapport. Tommy, Hank, thank you for the insight. You know what I mean? AFR, you gotta hit the link tomorrow. I'm gonna let you know now. I'm on your ass. No pause, my nigga. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out.